So if you wish to measure our own respiratory flow, breathing through a tube that has a flow transducer on it, and do we wish the impedance of the device to be high or low? And we have to explain this. So it depends on this table. So it depends on the variable. So whether it is through variable or across variable. And so let's look at the example first. So through variable is kind of like a respiratory flow. So flow of air. Actually, velocity of air, or fluid, blood, water, or it could be, and it is equivalent to a current. And for those, we want impedance to be low. And think of it as if you're trying to measure a velocity of blood and going through, and we don't want our measuring device to be like huge like that, and it's definitely going to impact the velocity that's going through. And so we actually want the impedance to be really slow. And the same thing as current. So if you have this, we have this current measuring device, and let's say we want to measure a current going through at this R1, R1, and this is I'll call R, and the R prime is our measuring device's measuring resistance. And due to the current law, the current at this resistance is going to be R over R prime plus R times V equal IR. So I equal V over R. So velocity is the current is voltage divided by this thing, and the bigger this gets, we have more disturbance, and it's gonna deviate from ideally 0, so it's removed, so we get the pure from the actual value. It's gonna deviate more if the R prime gets bigger. So anyway, so that's why we want for through variable like current or velocity of the flow and stuff, we want the impedance to be low. So cross variable, such as voltage or like a pressure. So if you're trying to measure a pressure on a pipe, and we don't want this to be the pressure plate to be like this small, it's gonna go all deviate out to go out of it. We want a firm wall like that, so we can feel all the pressure, and we want high impedance like that. So in the case of where we're trying to measure the respiratory flow, we want the measuring device impedance to be low, because it is a through variable. And for a cross variable like pressure, we want the impedance to be high for the measuring device.